I have to be in a play.
I wish you guys would have been there because that's how it happened.
Thank you so much for watching.
That's exactly how.
Oh, we're still on the air. Whoops. Hi.
Hello, and welcome to Khyber Shards, a 5th edition actual play show set in the Eberron campaign world. This week's episode is brought to you by the Onyx Fountain presents the works of Carclos Ilsir, coming this fall.
I don't know that one.
In a world without justice.
Whoosh.
That's okay. Do you like? Does Esri like theater? Because if Esri doesn't,
No.
Then why would Esri know?
Answer.
But Esri, did anything interesting happen last week?
Well, Esri did perform a bit of theater last week. Yeah. What didn't happen last week?
Unicorns.
We fought
Pegasus. Whales.
as far as
Processing
you
our
know,
feelings.
we fought these elves, and really fight these elves, Esri got mauled by the elves, all of them.
True.
Together, because they're dirty bigots who didn't like his tattoos. It seems. And he died. He straight died. Full dead.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a conversation with a mega goth pseudo elf thing, something. Just like the hardest of core ghosts you can imagine, with the wings and the horns. And were there horns? I don't know. In my head there were horns. There were definitely wings.
There were definitely wings.
And she sent him back, allowed him to choose, and was somewhat able to send him back with the instructions of the super easy, not traumatizing instructions of go find your siblings and get married and have some children. Also, people are just going to want to kill you. They just are, repeatedly, pretty much forever. So
And your children.
Sure, right. The hypothetical children could also be potentially in for the same fate. So, yeah, just a little bit of an episode.
It was very minor. Yeah. It didn't involve any on the spot plot decisions.
Major events, or feelings.
Anyway, and that is where we left off. We left off with Esri returning, expressing that he had a story for the party. We are still in the midst of Shaitiri Astalai. There is not far from you the collapsed, now disconnected skeleton of an ancient giant. There are several dead elves, one of which was more or less incinerated by Shade.
Oh yeah, y'all done killed them elves.
Yeah, very, very killed. Very killed.
Yeah.
It's true.
These people outright murdered one of my friends. What type of armor are they wearing?
The
has
elf
proficiencies.
that
Burned.
Shade doesn't have any
was the
armor.
leader. The elf that was the leader is wearing a suit of half plate.
Really?
Yeah. And the
There's a naked elf corpse on the ground.
can you wear half plate? Can you wear heavy?
Half plate is medium.
Is it? Oh, well, excellent. Good for you.
Good for me and people.
Love
Yes,
that for you.
No one will recognize that armor.
Forge will be able to do some stuff to make it not recognizable, I bet.
Yes, this armor, everything these elves are carrying, it should be noted, everything these elves are carrying is covered in etched runes. The other elves are each wearing breastplates. They're covered in etched runes, and those of you that read Elvish, which I think is Ari, just Ari, I guess.
Yep. I mean, Ari does. I can't speak for everyone else. But...
Their genealogies, like etched onto these breastplates, are the genealogies of every elf that has ever owned them, going back many, many generations.
Wow.
Their weapons are similarly decorated with the names of prior bearers of the weapons. Each of the elf soldiers carries a spear and a large shield. The leader carries a longsword.
Shields.
Hey, Shade, or do you remember when we went to the story in the Feywild and I said, this is the worst place y'all have ever dragged me to?
Mm-hmm.
It's been knocked down. Peg, there's a new champion. This is the worst place. Right here. You've brought me to potentially, literally, the worst place in existence for me.
In our defense, the Undying don't belong here, right?
Is that in character or to Philip?
Yeah. Like, they're
Uh,
Aeronol.
I have no idea. I assumed they belonged here. But
They
I
sure
don't know.
acted like it.
There's maybe we don't. There's a lot of us. There's a lot of things we all need to talk about now. But we're here for a completely different reason. Maybe we hold off until we've gotten out of here after doing the thing we came here for.
Hold off on what?
The stories that need to be told. I
Right.
had a thing happen, and
I bet.
it's not going to summarize well.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Do you
I know because I
feel
just
okay?
tried to do it and it was very difficult.
Did everything come back okay? You feel different? You feel the same? You feel...
What
Whole,
did
I
change?
guess?
Something actually did change, right?
Your mark is manifestly more substantial.
Yes, that's right.
In-
And did
in
it?
what way, I will leave to you as usual.
Did it just? Others have had like coverings over their marks destroyed as it happened, but mine doesn't usually manifest stuff like
Well,
that.
you
So did
took
it?
your gloves off to show your marks. So I
Right.
assume your gloves were not on your hands when it happened.
Okay. I mean, like we do.
Whoa.
I probably need to cover these back. Yeah, I'm gonna go find. I haven't been wearing the gloves in a while. Cat here. I haven't been wearing the gloves, so I'm gonna get them out and
Okay.
put them on.
The mark
yeah, I
has
think
definitely grown substantially
otherwise-
in size and intricacy.
Yeah, physically, I mean, I don't feel good. I feel pretty bad. It's, I didn't feel bad until I came back.
Pain is
I-
providence of the living, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
Ghosts
yeah.
probably don't feel a whole lot of pain.
The whatever happened last. Don't know.
Shade puts a hand on you and casts Cure Wounds.
Okay. What you got?
Oh my goodness. For 8.
It's 8
but
more than what you had before.
it-
So.
It's which is substantial. I'm out now at 20.
Rolling 2d8, a 2 and a 3.
Let's do what we got to do here, and never mess with the Fae again at all.
Yeah, that
You don't have to. I can't say that I won't.
I guess
but
that's
you.
sorry. Just because things happen really fast. What do we know about Ari at this point? Us? Because I mean, I've watched the episode, but
Ari hasn't really gotten into, like, he's not a Korvar anymore, and he's got a wicked new look with the
Okay,
eyes.
but we
and the
don't
sword
know-
And a sword.
Ari has not gone into his story
Okay.
either.
yeah, okay. I'm sorry. That's a little insensitive. I'm just being hyperbolic. Sorry.
It's okay.
What?
What?
No, I was talking to Shade.
Oh, I was confused.
Now I am.
Sphinx.
What-
We're looking. We're
Not
looking for a
come
Sphinx.
back if you don't want to. We are looking for a Sphinx. I did not see any. I did not find her yet.
We don't know tracks or leads. I can't remember what.
No.
We probably didn't even really get started.
Do you... Okay, Shade, in your dreams, when you saw the Sphinx asking you to come help, was there anything that was like a landmark or anything relatively significant that you could try to, like, match up, like point us in the right direction?
It's a great question. Philip?
You had been trying to follow the same path. You guys did actually move away from where Ari... You guys walked for quite a while before you encountered the
Right.
giant. So you guys have been moving in a direction. It hasn't been just sitting there.
Normally, I would try shouting, and I think maybe we did, but that's probably over that.
Idea right now.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, it was in trees, right? Sorry, Shade, go ahead.
That's well. I mean, the city is in trees.
I could see if there are any traps nearby, and that's about it. That's what I've got to offer.
Are we proceeding or resting in this particular minute?
Hog has
As
not
we
been
would hope to see.
participating as he is sitting down right now, recuperating.
If
I
we're gonna,
mean- Go ahead.
I'm down to take a rest, but probably not right here next to the bodies. We may want to go into a place that's a bit more defensible, and we can keep watch.
Should
But yeah, I'd be down to take a breather after
Should
that.
we hide these first?
Probably just the one that I defiled by taking their familial armor. But the other ones, it looks like the giant killed him, I would imagine. This just looks like a fight that went wrong between elves and a giant.
I'd take him with us if I could.
Yeah, no.
What are you taking?
Who are you asking?
The group?
Oh,
I'm
One
taking
armor,
nothing.
one
oh,
shield.
I'm not taking
Yes.
these.
I'm not looting the bodies.
Okay.
And so Ari is taking the armor. Is that what we said?
Half plate and a shield. Yeah.
Oh, and she- You know, I don't actually know what I get on a short rest.
You can spend hit die
At
to
the
recover.
very least, hit points.
Well, sure.
Philip.
What are we doing in this moment? Aside
if
from
the-
from plundering, a very limited amount of plundering.
Rest, right? We all good with resting?
Yeah. But not like here.
Okay.
Yes.
Just in.
Pog's gonna go pick up the lead elf's
Actually-
body and fireman carry it
I'm sorry.
someplace out of
I
sight.
I changed my mind a little bit. Do they have coin?
They do not have any coin on them.
Okay, then never mind. That's all he would be looking to do.
Let's just go into these trees over here. We can lay low and take a breather. Sound good?
There are buildings. Like, this is a city.
Right.
If so, do you mean into these trees, among these trees, because that's everywhere, or do you mean into these trees? Let's go inside.
Pog's taking the body inside and is
had-
going to hide it in a closet somewhere. Whatever small rubble.
I had searched several of the houses,
Okay.
several of the buildings, just previously, when Ezri died, and so Shade would head towards one of the ones that seemed empty enough for all four of us to fit in, and apparently a dead elf body. And so she would guide them towards one of the buildings, not just like a grove of trees.
Okay. So you all make your way further into the town, and then around one of the trees until you come to an opening in the base of a tree where there was once a door, but it has long since fallen away. Inside, there's a room, and around the edge, the interior of the bole of the tree, is a stairway spiraling up to more rooms above, which Shade would have noticed before.
I'm sorry. I just noticed that there were some things on my character sheet I didn't see before.
Yeah, your mark grew. You have a new thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Shade
Ours
will
is
go
gonna-
upstairs.
Okay.
We'll make sure nothing is here.
I will plunk.
You will plunk.
Plunk myself down.
Ah, okay.
Same here.
So we're settling down in the entryway.
I mean, Ari will give Shade back up upstairs just in case there is something lying in wait. So Ari will go upstairs with Shade.
There's another room upstairs, another room, and this one has a door that leads out onto a branch of this tree, the upper portion of which has been flattened into a path that leads over and joins another branch.
Cal, calm down, bud.
Whoa, something's here.
He's very tense. It's been a
Something's
very
here.
difficult day.
Poor buddy. That joins another branch and crosses over to another tree, like a causeway between towers. But there's nothing, or there's no one in here. The rooms have no people in them. There are remnants of ancient occupation to this.
Hush.
Sorry.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Don't know what he's barking at either.
My dogs only bark for good reasons. I haven't been having to mute my mic because my smaller dog is just making a loop of the yard screaming.
I'm outside.
Pretty much.
So many smells.
How fun for him.
Mm-hmm.
Shade will stay up here. She'll, because this is a secondary entrance,
Okay.
she will rest sort of on guard at this entryway.
All right. You may. I assume we're taking a short rest, so you may all
Yeah.
make.
How does
use
that work
of-
for Cal? Can I spend?
Cal has hit dice, so yeah.
Okay.
They finally have a hit dice roll feature on here.
Oh, nice. So you all settle yourselves down among the dust-covered and often on the lower floor, a lot of leaves and things have blown in over the years. Most of the furnishings of this place are relatively intact because most of them appear to be carved. Seems like the wrong word. It looks more like grown out of the tree. So there are
Interesting.
chairs that have grown, but they don't look carved because there's still bark on the outside of them. It looks like the tree grew into the shape of seats and tables and beds and things like that. It makes very little of the furniture mobile, but it all appears to be. But it has also preserved the furniture from the destruction of years.
Got to really commit to a floor plan when you do it this way, I guess. Really discourage you from moving about too. I can't take my stuff with me.
It's true.
Ari's back up to full. 36. Only costs 3 hit die.
Very nice.
And Ari spends an embarrassing amount of time figuring out how to put on his new armor. Never had to do this before. It smells like dead
It
people.
fits awkwardly. It was clearly made for someone who's not you. But you do manage to get it on.
Suppose we could try to climb very high? See if there's somewhere to go? Or...
Is this a small enough space to where Ezri talking downstairs would be audible to the upstairs?
It does have a somewhat of an echoing effect, being the interior of a tree trunk.
Okay.
We could try this pathway up here when you're ready.
There's
Yeah,
a
like there's
pathway up.
walkways through the branches and whatnot.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
It's going to be more visible, but it'll give us a better vantage point. Okay.
Yeah, I suppose I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm good. Bandaged up.
Hog with a little stretch, and then throw the pack back on and ready.
Okay.
We really should try to avoid being in a fight if we can at this point. I'm a little low on abilities.
Yeah, my mark's feeling kind of waning. A little bit better now that I've rested, but yeah,
There's
there
also a
with
very, very weird pulsing in the hands. Just new. So, it might be best to be somewhere safe when whatever's gonna happen ends up happening.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So you all take to the ranches. Oh yeah.
Has a name been given to Ezri's mark beyond just House Vol? Like, has
To
the term...
Ezri, yes. I don't know if
Okay.
Ezri has at any point communicated
No.
beyond that.
We haven't talked about it yet.
Okay, fair enough. All right, well let's get trucking.
Yeah, Jaler Alarenti identified it. And then, as did Arandis.
Who?
So you take to the treetop, to the tree branches. The pathways here arch high above, and looking around, you can see that many of the branches, of the larger branches of these trees, are shaped in the same way, so that up above the ground there is a dense crisscrossing network of walkways, all of them without rails, many feet above the forest floor. You can see that the trees
This is awesome.
are just a warren of rooms and doors and dwellings. They're skyscrapers. They're the towers of Sharn, but done in the style of a forest. And you make your way through these treetops and along, passing many open doors, occasionally hearing the sounds of wildlife. Occasionally far below you, you pass another giant skeleton plodding aimlessly through the ruins down below. And let's see. Shade, how about a perception check?
Happy to.
As the person I assume is leading.
And just again, I am still shifted, right?
You are, yes.
Okay. All right, 18. Sorry, I get advantage on perception if I'm shifted. So.
Ooh.
As you make your way through the branches, you hear something in some of the thinner branches above. The current walkway you are on arches between two trees with dense leafy growth on the branches above and below, so that the ground is almost lost to you. And you hear voices in the trees speaking softly to each other.
She is very active today. I motion to everybody to stop and to be quiet. And can I hear what they're saying?
They're speaking in Sylvan, and you can hear them conversing, and they seem to be talking about you, but very casually. What you are hearing is, well, what do you think? They need intercepting or dealing with, or we just let them go? I do not know. They are unusual here, but it's hard to know whether to be hospitable in situations like this.
Shade motions for the party to quietly move along.
I think she's aware of us, Colin. It does seem that way.
You motioned us to just walk away.
Shade.
Okay.
Shade, can we talk yet?
What?
Can we talk now?
Well, I guess it doesn't matter now.
What doesn't matter now?
You're defeating
There's-
the purpose by
there's
asking that, Pog. Like, if she says don't talk,
Well,
then
I
you
don't
ask
know.
whether you can talk, then you're talking.
That's why I whispered it.
But then
You know what's weird? There are giants, undead giants, just walking around down there. There's no elves attacking them. Where?
I mean, did you see what the one giant did to the other
A voice
two?
speaks out of the trees. Most of the elves left here a long time ago.
Ah!
Can we see
The
where
few
the
Don't
just
voice is
fall.
coming from?
recently. I push him.
Can we see where the
I guess
voice is coming
Ari
from?
plummets to his doom then.
They're coming from among the foliage above you.
Mark of death.
Is-
Oh,
Are you the
what-
trees?
what are they? Not elves.
No,
There's
they're
a
just
patter
two
of
figures
laughter.
right there.
Hello?
No.
They were debating whether or not to be hospitable towards us, so I thought it best that we be on our way.
Don't spit on me.
If they chose not to be,
Buddy.
I don't
That
see
would not
what's
be very
hospitable.
hospitable.
I answered the question. And a
What?
lithe figure slips down out of the trees, and you see a 5.5 foot high fox person. dressed
Still
in...
speaking Sylvan?
Speaking in common now. Dressed in forest green, with a cap between his fox ears.
Robin Hood just appeared.
If you didn't want Ari to hit on somebody, making them look like the Disney Robin Hood is the wrong way to go. So just... Hello.
Today we discover Ari's interest in fur.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Laura's updating the wiki right now.
He sweeps off the cap and bows.
Hog bows
More
as
hospitable.
That is more hospitable. Yes.
Hi.
Hello.
Is
And
it
who might
clear
you-
that it's like the same kind of person as Shade?
It looks very
Is that-
similar to Shade at the moment.
We're the strike
my name's
force.
Ari.
I'm just like looking at Shade.
We're what now?
Ah, the Strike Force.
Oh, that
Very good.
We have a
You may
name.
call me Aj.
Hi, Aj.
Aj?
Arj?
Aj.
Arj.
Arj.
Can you spell that, Aj, in common?
Your DM can. It's ARZH.
Hi, Aj. Do,
Have you
Arj.
seen a sphinx?
Aj.
Aj.
His face goes somewhat more solemn, and his eyes narrow.
You
and he
did not
looks
like that
carefully
question.
at you. And what would you have to do with the Sphinx?
I came to see her. She came and visited me in several dreams, and so then I came to see her.
I don't know. Sounds pretty suspicious, Aj. Says the voice still from the trees.
Hello.
Hi, tree guy.
We've come a
Definitely
long
sounds
way
weird.
and gone through quite a bit of trouble to find this Sphinx who had spoken directly to my friend here multiple times.
Asking for help, in fact.
The fox looks up into the trees. Says, Yorn, she is one of us.
Oh, you're shifters?
What?
Shifters. Like Shade.
No.
Como?
I've never
I'm a
heard that
shifter.
term.
It's like Shade
Oh.
sometimes looks more, and then other times she looks...
More.
You mean this? And he, let's see, more like you. He shifts, and standing before you is a dashing half-elf with a small pointed beard and mustache goatee, is dressed in the same way. He has fox red hair, and bows again.
Hello.
Does
Fox
You mean
ears?
that?
Still?
It does not have fox ears.
No. Shay, can you do that?
I shift back to my non-fox form.
No, you don't.
I love when
Rude,
he
Philip.
does that.
It's rude.
It's the worst thing ever.
Shade is just sitting there going,
Or more like this.
no.
And his form shrinks, and there is now just a fox standing in front of you.
Oh, hello.
And it puts its head on one
Wait.
side.
Wait, Shay, do
Is
that.
that more what you
Okay,
had in mind? He says.
No. I normally look more human than I do right now, but
He returns to the humanoid fox form. Well,
it's
how long
not
have
working.
It's
Wait, what was the end of that question?
How long have you... Well, you say you called yourself something. You've always been away.
A shift.
Maybe you've forgotten. Yorn, I think
What's a shift?
I really think she should see it.
We We all did forget
See who?
some very important.
Is she the Sphinx?
Well, we call her by her name, but I suppose.
What's her name?
Probably. Her name is Harazi.
Harazi. I'm gonna spell it the way I'm
Harazi.
gonna spell it.
That's what I was looking down because I was confident I had it written somewhere and I kept looking for it and I couldn't find it.
Is she nearby?
Not too far.
Okay, because like he said, it's been a long road to get us here for a lot of us. So
Will you you could just take us to the Sphinx right now?
Harazi. Yes. I
Insight
suppose.
check. Can I roll insight?
You can.
Ari's got a
You
negative
can
one
play all the
modifier.
D
He's like,
you want to.
let's go.
You can roll if you want to.
Jesus.
Wow.
I have advantage and I rolled a natural 18 and 19 for my team.
You know when
Do you
these
gi-
rolls
do you give
would
him
have
the
been
look?
I do. So I have a 22 for insight.
He responds by putting his ears back and opening his eyes really wide, and putting his head slightly on one side.
What are y'all doing?
I'm trying to see if he's a liar.
Oh, you're giving him
well.
the look.
Yes, but only for fun.
Hey, same.
Can I
Are you
can
having
I check
fun
that
now?
statement now that he's being
Yes, but not in that way.
I don't understand if he's lying or not.
You want to meet the Sphinx, so come along. And he drops back down into a fox, and trots around you on the causeway and begins leading you along the branch.
We don't have a better lead, so you know.
No, I think we have to
I'd
follow
go
him.
with him.
but-
Who are you? Yorn?
A tree branch is pushed aside, and lounging
equality.
on
Please be
a
equal.
branch above is a large bear person.
Yes. Lil Yorn.
close?
All right, let's let's go. Thank you,
Oh,
Yorn.
Looks
Shade,
to
you
Shade.
know,
No, we
foxes
should
are
follow him.
notorious liars.
Well, he even said he is a liar.
Only for fun.
And you said you had fun right now.
And
Yes, but not by lying.
technically,
I
he
have
was-
fun in many ways. Lying is just one of them.
But you could be lying about not lying.
But
That is very true.
But he was honest about being a liar, which makes
Was he?
him a bad liar if he's trying to lie right now. I think we should go.
I think we have to follow him. We just, if it's a trap, we kill him.
Dog turns and looks at Yorn
Oh,
as
I
that
am
statement
not.
happens.
Yorn is still sitting in the branch.
Bye.
Good to meet you.
What is bear person's name?
I'm trying to work
Yorn.
be Yorn
Y-O.
into a
Yorn.
sentence, and I
Youarn.
enjoy how you be Yorn. Doesn't work.
Casey, the player, just wants to sit and visit with these two the whole time. But Shade's on a mission.
Dog really wants to
Fox
wrestle
chase.
with Yorn. Like there could be a good solid wrestle here. Not the same way that Ari does. Not it's different. It's a different wrestle.
The fox leads you along branches at a quick pace for several minutes, then down around a tree.
You know, this
and-
pace isn't very good for me.
Oh, this armor's heavy.
Oh gosh, they're so bad at climbing trees.
Dog is right behind Shade.
Then
They're
this is
so
the wrong
bad.
road for them.
Yeah, they're good friends though.
Thank you.
It's the only
and
reason I came.
Well,
He begins to trot down the stair on the inside of a tree, and then through a passage down further under a tree,
Yeah, how
Follow
big's the
him.
hole?
I'm
Big enough?
I'm coming. Just space yourselves out so that you can just see the person in front, and then we can all.
The fox
get
leads
there.
you down a tunnel, and then back up, and you suddenly emerge into a clearing. Standing in the clearing on a hill is a strange structure. It seems to be made of smooth sandstone. It's got that yellowish hue of sandstone. And around it on the ground are several slightly domed structures that glow faintly and seem to be made of crystal or pink glass or something. The fox trots towards the base of this stone structure is a couple stories high. Trots towards the base of the structure and through a door in it.
Keep going, I guess.
What are the globes? No.
Pog is going to be distracted and walk over to one of the little pink globes and try to look at it.
It emits a faint thrumming sound.
Ari continues to follow the fox.
How big is it?
All right, I'll detect traps.
Okay. No traps are detected.
Okay.
How big is it?
Doesn't seem.
It's about your size.
Pog's gonna touch it.
Yeah, I think
It's
you can
warm.
tell. Oh, you're just gonna check. Okay.
It's warm, you said? Can I feel the pulse, or is it just warm?
It is vibrating faintly.
Turn and fall back in line to go inside.
Shade is like. Okay. Shade is like in between following Ari and the fox and Pog here. Maybe you shouldn't touch things that glow in the Feywild.
Probably true, but at least
It
it's there aren't any traps here.
It was a moment of weakness. It was glowing.
Right, yeah. Okay. Let's
fox
follow the
leads
fox
you-
person into here.
The fox leads you in and into a passage, the walls of which have lots of decorative etchings in the walls, and along the lines it's almost like the light flows along the lines, ebbing and increasing as if it's moving along the lines, making different figures in the walls as it moves.
Living looking
No,
or no? Okay.
no,
I
it's
wanna keep,
still yellow sandstone.
Arj.
The fox stops and cranes its head back.
We're still going to see Harazi, yes?
Yeah, of course. That's why I said I was
What
taking
is
you,
this-
and I told you I wasn't currently lying.
What is this place?
This
Here.
is her home.
Why is it glow? Why does it do the light thing?
Oh, I'm not entirely sure. Some sort of magic of hers. I
Okay.
think. She tried to explain it to me once. It didn't make any sense.
I've heard that about. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Cool. How much further?
Not far, not far. He trots
What
you
you
into...
said before.
It hasn't been far. This is a nice leisurely jaunt. He trots on down the tunnel and into an open room. There's not much in here. The floor is set stone with the same stone the walls, and the lights seem to pulse along the walls in the shapes of many different humanoid figures with animal features on them. In, cats and birds and wolves and bears and all sorts of creatures, and some of which you've never encountered. There is a partial second story. The part you come into is clear to the ceiling, and then there are stairs leading up to a landing that forms a partial second story from which you can see lots of the faint purple glow emanating from up there. And Arj resumes his humanoid fox shape and calls, sounding somewhat more serious, "Mistress, guests." There is
Shade, this doesn't look like the place of someone who's in distress.
there is a shifting above, and then silently padding into shape, you see the large form of the Sphinx. A dappled snow leopard-like body, white wings tipped in black, long, almost white hair hanging from her head around her ears, and deep, deep, dark eyes. She looks down. Shade.
It's her!
Hi.
Oh, he was not lying this
Is that
time.
in common? That it's her. Was that in common?
I was about to say, what did she say my name in? But I guess my name. Yes, I would have said it in common.
The Sphinx pads down one of the ramps to the floor. And you have friends.
I do have friends. They sacrificed a lot on the journey here, and they are very, very good friends, but they lost a lot. Or gained. It's been hard. How are you?
She pads over close to you and looks down into your eyes. I am still here. And that is enough for now. How are you?
Fine.
I died and he got erased from existence for a little while, so if there's like a particular reason you're wanting her here, this would be a good time to talk about it.
She looks at you. It doesn't appear to have stuck.
Not this time.
I had to make a bargain with an archfey, so
They are difficult.
yep.
I was sent back by the ghost of one of my ancient ancestors.
Good to have friends in the right places.
Shade.
Well, the nightmares seemed a little upsetting, and
You
I
were
thought I got them
remembering.
to help you. But you seem fine. Yeah, I generally remember the nightmares. They're terrifying.
You don't remember where you came from.
Nope. I was found when I was 3. In the forest.
Where?
The Elden Reaches?
She pads over to the wall and raises one of her paws and presses it against the wall and moves her paw along the wall. And on one wall is projected a glowing, translucent map of the planet. And she
That's a cool trick.
repeats the word that you said, and the map shifts and expands in onto northern Corvair. That's the towering, the manifest zone, and the gloaming. I see. Oh, I'm sorry. We should have kept closer. We were trying to... It was all very fast. And... we did the best we could.
Okay, so you're not in danger and we could just go home now?
I am... Yes, I would not say I am out of danger. This is not a safe place to live. But... Shit, I did not call
Do you
here
want to-
because I was in peril. I thought you were.
Yes.
To be alone and lost away from your kin and kind.
Well, I was for a long time, but then I found my friends. You noticed them when we walked in.
Yes. But you seem... I am sorry that it has been a difficult journey. I do not travel much and do not always remember how wide the spaces have gotten. I have tried to find as many as I could and thought you might need help.
Who are you saying Shade is? Or what?
Well, she is herself. She is not anyone she does not think. I do not mean that, but she lived here once.
In Shatirius Talai.
How long ago?
Yes, that is what the elves called it, yes.
How long ago did she live here?
She moves her hand on the wall, and a set of shifting glyphs appear on the wall, and she studies them for a long moment. A very long time. Many thousands of
In
years.
our reckoning?
Yes,
Oh,
in your reckoning. Many thousands of years in your reckoning.
you wear it well, Shade. I'll give you that.
I don't understand what's happening.
No, I'm sorry. You don't
You-
remember any of it.
You don't make any sense. And I would like
Yes.
to help you, but I
Here,
Don't-
Arj, food and drink, and go and ensure that you were not followed. I will explain. And Arj goes out of the room with a bow. A very short amount of time later, food and drink comes in, carried on trays on the backs of various small woodland creatures.
Hello.
and is laid on a
I was imagining the
table.
food coming in on its own, but this is pretty much as good.
A low table is risen up from the floor, and cushions have been laid by the same small woodland creatures around the table. And Hazari walks over and lays along one side of the round table. Please, be at ease.
It does seem like your kind of place.
Perhaps you were found in the gloaming in the Eldine Reaches when you were 3. That is what you said?
Yes.
And they don't know how you came to... You don't know how you came to be there?
No.
I came here as a guest many, many thousand years ago. Guest is perhaps not the right word. Refugee, exile. My homeland was destroyed long before that. And we fled. And I came here and settled and befriended the Fae and the other creatures that dwelt here and raised the city in the trees. Many those who lived here were the forest folk, of which you, by your look and scent, I think to be one. Like Aj and Yorn and various others, Kitsune is what the Fae call you. And I was content. And then the danger that destroyed my land followed me here and attacked it and destroyed it. And in haste and untidily, I tried to send away those that I could to places where I hoped that they would be safe. It was all very fast. It was not... There was not time to plan, and apparently, in doing so, many of your people were scattered in all times and places. When I realized this, I stayed, and over the years I have tried to find those that I could and aid them in what ways I can to repay the kindness of the Forest Queen and her people long ago.
Did I miss it? Did you say what the danger was?
A being, a would-be conqueror and tyrant who had risen in my time to make himself to style himself a god and conquer the lands. My people resisted him long, but were in the end overwhelmed and unable to defeat him and unable to fly far enough in our world, we fled in a way that we thought he would not be able to follow us, and we scattered ourselves through time.
And where is he now?
He
When? Who's he
appeared
now?
again many thousands of years ago when this was a great city and destroyed it. Looking for this place, I was able to conceal it from him after doing what I could for the people of this place. The giants he had come to rule destroyed it and went away. That was many, many thousands of years ago now. I do not know what became of him after that.
Did he have a name?
He has used more than one, but when he destroyed this place, he called himself Kulsir. C-U-L apostrophe
I
S-I-R.
know that one.
You would all recognize that name because there is a giant statue of Kulsir overlooking the harbor of Stormreach that functions as the lighthouse of the city.
Oh,
So would it just be life size?
It's also the local makeout spot.
I had been meaning to ask.
It's on a big
That's a weird one.
cliff overlooking the harbor. There's no reason to go there.
There's some reason.
No, other reason.
There's
Well,
some,
yeah,
there's
I mean-
some reason.
Yeah.
Hi.
Cal senses your distress and is very concerned.
It's trying to comfort Shade, who's really just frozen.
When I sensed your presence here, I reached out to you, as I have tried to do whenever I have found one of the forest folk.
To summarize, Shade is Fae?
Yes. A
Okay,
kitsune.
then
Samesies.
And thousands of years old, but also not thousands of years old.
You skipped many years. You were born many thousands of years ago, but you are not thousands of years old. You
Well,
jumped many of those years and did not live them.
What?
so the follow-up question for us that's pretty important to us here, this particular group. Are you familiar with dragon marks? And do Fae get them?
I have heard of them in my time. There are a few other of my kind here now, I suppose is the better term. And we communicate some. I'm aware of dragon marks. I don't see any reason that a Fae couldn't.
I just thought they were sort of our reality kind of thing.
You are thinking, Mercy, yes, well, as the Fae would put it, well, there's Fae and there's Fae. There are Fae that are a manifestation of their plane, and there are also mortal Fae who just live there. Elves started out that way. Elves were simply mortals who lived in the Feywild until many of them were captured and brought here or moved into this plane and established homes here that and lived their lives. The Kitsune are mortal Fae. They dwelled in the Feywild and in manifest zones and around manifest zones, and some of them still presumably do dwell in the Feywild, but they are not, most of them, manifestations of the Fey. in the way that greater Fae, as it were, are.
So do you know the Forest Queen?
I did. I have not spoken to her for many years, but she was the ruler of this place when I came here and gave me refuge and shelter. And the city that built around here became my home for a long time, and I have continued to live here since its fall, as it seemed a place safe to... It seemed unwise to go to a place where folk might dwell, as he had followed me once, and I feared, were he still... I do not know if he still is, or what became of him, but were he still around or about, I might draw him after me, and I would not endanger.
Kulsir? Oh, his whole
Yes.
deal got, like, wiped out. Like, the Giants' empire fell, like, thousands of years ago. He's... I mean, by all accounts, he's very gone. So, you don't need to worry about him and his ilk.
That is to be hoped.
Unless he's like those other giants that are wandering around here. The undead ones.
He was very powerful in his day, and I would not... Unless I were able to confirm his death, I would not wish to risk
Fair enough.
endangering other lives.
How much do we know about the fall of the giant empire?
You could make a history check
Sure.
and see.
Why wouldn't we?
I think I've got
19.
a book on it, but
You have a book
Shane
on the
doesn't
Dakani Empire, which is the Hobgoblin Empire. But
Yeah.
19 is what you said? You know perhaps several myths or legends about the fall of the giant empire. The history is extremely muddled, and no historian thinks they know really what happened to the giant empire. It was very, very great. Well, there have been several giant empires. Kulsir's was called the Kulsir Dominion, because, you know, he was a dude who was really very humble.
Yeah.
And
As many
the
conquerors
Dominion
are.
collapsed. Right, yeah, it's
liked the
kind of a
privilege.
prerequisite. The Kulsir Dominion collapsed several thousand years ago. The cause is uncertain. Some suggest that it fell to internal strife. Others, one popular explanation for the Traveler's Curse is that it's a curse laid on Zindrik by the dragons, who came and destroyed Kulsir's empire because Kulsir was meddling in magics that were far too great for him, and so the dragons came from Arganessen and destroyed him and his empire. That is probably the most widely believed of the legends. Modern historians tend to attempt to demythologize it somewhat and suggest that the dragons are a metaphor of some kind.
I just feel like the dragons did it is Eberron's equivalent of like the broad conspiracy theory. Like the dragons
The
did it,
dragons are
man.
them.
Didn't you hear? It's the dragons. They're pulling all the strings.
they...
Which
I mean, the
You know.
lizard people, right?
Yeah.
here the head of House Cannith is a dragon, just in disguise. Look at their
Totally.
eyes.
Yeah.
Never blink. Anyway,
I'm sorry that this is startling.
If it makes you feel better, this is like way better news than I got.
I mean, at least you're not in danger. That's got to be in the W column. I don't know.
The Fae I thought was in danger is not in danger. That's
Or a fae,
good.
strictly speaking. I am
Oh.
a sphinx. I am not myself fae. I lived among them and received refuge from them, but aided and advised where I could, but carefully.
So what is the difference? I'm a kitsune and not a shifter?
Yes.
Does that mean she can do more or less magic than she thought?
I don't think it will affect her. You cast spells, I assume? Is by that question?
The other one could become like an actual fox, and then like an
Yes.
actual person.
Yes,
But
all
she's
kitsunes.
always sort of in between.
She thinks for a long moment. It is not, I suppose, entirely surprising if you were never told you could do something that you would never try to.
But she did try. Just before we came here.
Did try to go back
yes.
to my human form.
I understand from Arj and others that in the Feywild, and this is a powerful manifest zone to the Feywild, in the Feywild it is harder to not be in, well, what Arj calls his natural state, which is that of a humanoid animal. He says it is harder to shift out of that in the Feywild, but you should be capable of moving from that form to a more human form to that of an actual fox.
Oh.
I did not mean this to be bad news. I thought I would be able to help.
I don't know that it's bad. There's been a lot. There's been a lot.
Yes.
Also,
I didn't. Obviously, I didn't have control over the number of earth-shaking personal events that would happen on the way here.
How could you have had control over that?
Fate is often fickle and random, as a toss
I do
of
feel
dice.
like I bear some responsibility for your whole deal, Esri, the whole giant bag thing. And
That is true. Sometimes individual decisions.
and when I was a child, I made an archfey angry, and that was so. I guess my bad, just on all counts.
apparently when I was a child, I lived in a Fey village and got sent away by a sphinx into the future in a forest.
Yes, that is what happened.
That summarizes much easier to make that succinct. Yes.
I just couldn't leave them to die.
sorry. I just do I have family? Are they alive? Are they in a different time? Do I no.
I'm
Thank you. You saved my life.
I wish I could answer all of those questions. Under normal circumstances, I would never have tried to do it with so many at once, and it was a crisis, and the calculations were imprecise. I'm sorry.
You don't have to be sorry. I'm not mad at you. I am very confused and overwhelmed, and I don't really love feelings, but I have all of them right now, and I am tired and upset and guilty and confused, and I'm just gonna step outside.
You are welcome to rest here if that helps. It is concealed and should be safe.
If Shade walks outside, Ari will give it a beat and then go check on her.
Oh, Pog is standing up. If Shade's leaving the table, Pog is standing up. There's
Shade responds with thank you, but she and Cal step outside.
Leaving Esri and the Sphinx.
A tip. Next time you do the dream talking thing, maybe adjust your tone and wording ever so slightly. Less ominous, more I have a balloon.
I don't know what that is.
When Ezri died, he got eaten by a sphinx. That's how Ezri died.
But
A balloon is not what I was expecting Ari to say.
have you ever attempted to communicate with someone's astral projection?
Darling, every day. It's
You just call a sphinx darling?
Is it
It's-
easy?
Yes. That's what happened. That's
Did
what
you
happened.
just say darling?
That's what just
To
happened.
Ari's not going to help
Sphinx.
Ezri if this goes.
no.
It's not.
I'm also like 21 years old. So,
Well, that's several thousand. It's still not easy.
But thanks for the tip.
I could fling you forward through time, but talking to you in your dreams is hard.
well, we each have our talents. I guess that's true.
Yes,
I would appreciate not being flung forward in time.
I wasn't planning on.
Can you fling us in? Space isn't what? To a different place instead of a different time? We don't have any idea how to get home.
Yes, I can probably do that.
That would. I would say that would be nice, but that's not the right word. That would be necessary. If possible. Needed.
Can
That would be needed. That's the word I was looking for.
I am most likely able to do that. I would need to know more about where you want to go, but yes.
What's with the light show?
Oh, it's just the power source of the energy created by the generators outside. And as to the actual movement of the lights through here, it's decorative. It's pleasing.
It's impressive. I've not seen something quite like it.
Well, that's happening. I mean, as soon as Ari gets outside, he's going to turn to Shade and Art. That was a lot. Are you okay? How are you feeling? I guess it's a better question. Obviously, you're not okay.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's where we'll pick up next week.
Whew, sure was good to have a nice light episode.
Not back to back.
Come on, Pog. Let's go have a life-altering experience
follow-up.
for you next episode. Let's go. Get a move on.
Yeah,
I want to
Pog.
fight more displacer beasts.
Listen,
Remember when Pog having a girlfriend was a big deal?
I didn't intend everyone to have personal crises on the way to the Sphinx.
Guess what? Your mom's alive.
Oh God!
And she's right over there.
This is just y'all bogarting Shade's side quest here.
Me bogarting. I didn't.
Yes, I blame you. I have to be in a play.
I wish you guys would have been there because that's how it happened.
Thank you so much for watching.
That's exactly. Yeah.
Oh, we're still on the air. Whoops. Hi.
Thank you so much for watching. If you want to get in touch with us, you'll find links to all of our social media, including our Discord and our merch store down below. You can also find a link down there to Colin's Twitch, where he streams as Sorry BTR. The O is 0 and streams on Tuesday nights and occasionally whenever other things allow him to. And we do a question and answer episode every Friday. If you'd like to submit questions for Khyber Shards Answers, there are channels for it on our Discord, or you can do so in the comments down below. And while you're down there, hit one of them there, engagement buttons. And sure, just any that you want to push would be great. New episodes of Khyber Shards every Monday, new Khyber Shards Answers every Friday. And until next time, thanks for rolling with us.